So good afternoon, this is Anthony from BBSN, and got a package today from Strat-O-Matic. It was I mentioned in my vlog last Friday that I'd ordered the 2017 season, obviously, and then some all-time great teams, some additional all-time great teams, and I had mentioned that I had found the St. Louis Browns that had super advanced and advanced side to them. And apparently I had a major reading comprehension fail. It was just the normal all-time great teams that I actually have already ordered that just have the single basic side. And I really don't know what I was thinking. Basically, I looked at the card images, and the images on the website show the advanced, super advanced side of the cards, even though it's not obviously the 1922 St. Louis Browns. So ordered those, and long story short, I now have 3 extra teams for my set of all-time great teams in the basic version. And again, don't know how I did that. Maybe I just saw the picture, got excited. I knew better, still did it anyway, and then made a vlog about it. So what that means is we're going to have a giveaway, because I now have 2 sets of the 1922 Browns, the 1906 Cubs, and the 1919 Chicago White Sox. And to top off the foolishness of me reordering those teams, the Browns team actually showed up missing 5 players. They did not send me Marty McManus, Wally Gerber, Bill Bain, Elam Van Gilder, or Dixie Davis was the 5th one. So I've already emailed Strat-O-Matic and requested that they do send those cards out. So once I get those, like I said, we'll have a giveaway. So if you would like to have 3 free all-time great teams to play basic versions with as you please, go ahead and just leave a comment on this video, and as soon as the 5 cards I'm missing get here from Strat-O-Matic, I will go ahead and put those in the mail to you, and we'll have a drawing. We'll have a drawing when I do get those extra 5 cards. So sometime next week, I would imagine, probably towards the end of the week, as it usually takes them a minute to confirm and then reship out the missing cards. So that's that. And in the meantime, the 1922 St. Louis Browns time machine replay will continue as it always have, just playing the basic side, which is fine, still fun, no issues with that. Probably what I'll do to do a time machine project using an older player with advanced, super advanced side is to order the Hall of Fame set. And initial thoughts there are to do either a Walter Johnson replay, put him on the 2017 Nationals, and have him take the starts of one of their active pitchers from last year. Probably only would be fair to have him take the ace position on that team. Or Rube Waddell would be the other one, who I'll probably do I want to do a vlog on Rube Waddell, focus vlog a little bit about him, his life, and circumstances, and of course some of the stories that many of which are well known and some of which are not true, but he's one player where the truth actually is better than some of the stuff that was made up about him. So that'll be upcoming. Tomorrow will not happen tomorrow. I actually have to busy day tomorrow with work and whatnot. I'll have to be in downtown Phoenix for a bit. So probably do that vlog on Waddell Saturday morning. And if I do a time machine replay with him, obviously he spent the majority of his career with the Athletics, a little bit of time with Pittsburgh, Louisville, and then he finished his career with the St. Louis Browns. But he was most successful with Connie Mack. So doing a time machine replay with Waddell, I would put him on the 2017 Oakland Athletics. So it'll be one of those two, and even if you have thoughts on which one of those you'd like to see after the St. Louis Browns project is over, Waddell or Johnson, let me know. And if the community has an opinion strongly one way or another, that's who we will go with. If not, I'll probably just end up flipping a coin. So with the 2017 cards, there's obviously opening day was over a month ago now, and several people have done some unboxings of the 2017 set, but I just wanted to go over my New York Yankees, so I'm going to come get behind the camera and we're going to look at the Yankees for 2017. And let me just fix the zoom here. There we go. All right, and again, not the world beater card. On column one, obviously, a couple of nice spots for the home run. The 9 is a ballpark home run, but a lot of walks on there, and this against left-handed pitching. And then really not too much else against lefties versus right-handers. Column one is pretty solid. Home runs on 8 and 9. Skinny home run on 10 and ballpark home run on 6. And as you would expect, 2 strikeouts on 7 in column 2, 5 and 6 in column 3, and also 9. So, he's a card that should actually perform like Aaron Judge did last year, and that's he's going to have hot streaks where he wreaks havoc and gets on base a lot. He's going to have streaks where he strikes out in however many games he did in a row, and I forget the exact number, but that is Mr. Judge. Really, to me, and I'm excited to see Judge and Giancarlo Stanton grind this year, but to me, the best Yankee hitter in that lineup and the one who's going to develop into I think the most consistent of the three. He may not have the raw power potential that Stanton, if he can stay healthy, and Judge have, but Gary Sanchez. I think Sanchez is, by when all is said and done, is going to be the hitter that's regarded as the most consistent and most solid in that lineup currently. And you see his card here against right-handed pitchers. Column one is horrendous. Has a lot of strikeouts himself there. And really, to me, a little bit, at least in that column, a little bit worse than Judge. Well, 7 to 9 strikeouts, 5 strikeout. Against left-handed pitchers, column one, not great either. Column two, solid there with a home run on 8. Also has a strikeout on 7. So he's going to get his share of whiffs too. But should hit at a slightly higher average than Judge. And again, last season was streaky too, and I think I'm talking more about the future when I talk about him being a solid hitter, but still a fun card and looking forward to playing with this one. Some of the young ones, this one, Ronald Torres. Really, that's a surprisingly good card. If you look at column 2 against righties, I mean, geez, from that 3 through 8, and then 10 and 11 base hits or extra base hits. So that's a card that can do some damage, I think, and looking forward to seeing how he does in whatever replay I do with the Yankees, involving the Yankees. Column 2 against lefties is also pretty solid. Starlin Castro, I'm not going to look at his card since he's no longer with us. I wanted to look at some of the pitchers. Tommy K, Tommy Conley came on late in the season, and against right-handed batters, he's got some terrific numbers there, 4 through 6, a lot of Ks, and really the only column there against righties he gets in trouble with at all is 4, and you even then you have to roll 9 and up to get in trouble. Against lefties, not as solid. Gives up some singles on column 6, 7 through 9, and you could touch him up a little bit on column 4, but column 5 is pretty solid outside of the walk-in too. So Tommy K is one that I look to have some success in any replays. One of my favorite Yankees, just because of the way he plays the game, Brett Gardner. Just kind of an old school ball player to me, and he is what he is. He's going to hit 260 to 270. Occasionally he'll get into double-digit home runs, just as easily can be in single-digit home runs. And this card kind of shows that. He can get going in a little bit of a hot streak here in column 2 against lefties, which is actually pretty good, and then column 2 also against righties. You get to rolling 6s and 7s there, and he can go on a little bit of a mini tear. But again, he is going to be that guy that gets 260 to 270 and has some good moments and bad. Jacoby Ellsbury, we need to trade. Aaron Hicks is another intriguing player. Really a career year last year for him, and I think he still has some upside. You can see on his card here against left-handers, column 1, pretty solid. And not too bad against right-handed pitchers, the same. He's going to strike out a little bit more than you like, and that's probably the one problem with this Yankees lineup in general. And strikeouts are up through baseball, but the Yankees, their best hitters seem to be especially proficient at it, and adding Stanton to the mix isn't going to make anybody think about Tony Gwynn or Rod Carew anytime soon. Didi Gregorius. And he's really another player, as a player, I like a lot. And you see here, especially for a left-handed batter, he does exceptionally well against lefties in column 3. Skinny home run on 4, and then from 5 on, minus a strikeout tucked in there, he's pretty much golden. The other 2 columns against lefties, not so much. And thought he'd be a little bit better against righties. Column 1 and 2, really not much in either of those. A couple of singles in column 2, and both not in the meat ranges. Column 3, different story. He's got a couple of home runs in there. Granted, one is a ballpark, and then 6, 7, and 8. Definitely will be getting on base. So I think Didi can do some good things. Going through really none of the other hitters. Greg Bird, obviously this card is not exceptional. You can see the potential with him in some of the low columns. In column 2, the low numbers. He is someone, I think, that if he can stay healthy, can develop into a very consistent first baseman with a little bit of pop. But that's going to be the key, is staying healthy. And I think if he goes through another injury-plagued season like he's been wont to have, probably have to look at a replacement for him at some point down the road. And it's not like the Yankees, are not incapable of finding that replacement. In the farm system, they've got a couple of fair prospects, but even on the major league roster, I don't know that. Some people have talked about moving Aaron Judge to first. I don't know that I would want to do that. For as big as he is, Judge is really a fairly athletic outfielder. Stanton, I don't think is an option either. Probably, if anything, Andujar, the third baseman, possibility, but the season he's having, or the spring he's having, I would leave him at third. And they have some utility players. Torres, if in a pinch, could play first. But again, not to throw the close the curtain on Greg Bird yet, but you know, I think this is the year he really has to put up or shut up, so to speak. With what's left, really want to look at some of the pitchers. And Sonny Gray really wasn't as good as I thought it might be. Severino, he's the future and got great stuff. He just hasn't really been consistent yet. But on his card here, this is actually a pretty solid card. He'll get in some trouble on this card against both lefties and righties in column 6, but columns 4 and 5, pretty solid, and he has the potential to go on tears here and, you know, and set down, basically put lineups on lockdown for extended periods. Masahiro Tanaka, not really a solid year last year. You can see he gets touched up really in a couple areas here, especially against righties, which is kind of concerning. And then against lefties, potential to give up the long ball in column 6. And Tanaka is one of those guys, I think, that has kind of suffered from the stigma that affects a lot of pitchers that come over from Japan, and that's that the workload is different. It's a lot more over here. Pitchers over there tend to get overused in terms of innings pitched, and there's Daisy, but they also have some more rest. So I don't know if last season was a fluke or if Tanaka might be just to the point where he's beginning to wear down a little bit. Hopefully it's the former, not the latter, because we need him. Aroldis Chapman, really nothing unexpected on his card. And it kind of reflects the kind of pitcher he is. And last year, I think, was an anomaly for him. He gave up a little bit more in terms of runs than he had been, and his whip was a little higher. But again, you can see in columns 5 against both lefties and righties, golden, doesn't give up a thing. Even in column 6, where he does give up the hits, he's got a lot of strikeouts on prime numbers too, especially against left-handed batters, which would be expected because he is a lefty and has a filthy slider. And the enigma, Betances. This guy, quite honestly, may have the best stuff in terms of ball movement on that entire staff. And he went through stretches last year where he just could not find the damn plate. And it's kind of reflected in this card. Again, especially against right-handed batters, which you would expect him to be better against. But way too many walks, and you get a 4 and a 5 against a righty, and it's, you know, literally he's going to get a strikeout or a walk, and unfortunately the walks are under the much more high percentage numbers here. Column 6, not as bad, only 1 walk there, but you know, not as many strikeouts either. But his card is interesting in that he does not give up a single hit off his pitcher's card. Everything he gives up is walks. And against lefties, which he faced 48% of the time, actually a much better pitcher. And column 4, you know, golden in that column. You're not getting anything off him. Column 5, walks in a couple of fairly high percentage areas. Not so much 9, but definitely 8, both in column 5 and 6. Strikeouts in 6 all the way across, strikeouts in 7 on 4 and 5, and a ground ball to second in that column, in the 6th column. So Betances, looking at this card, if I was to ignore the way that you should play percentages, he would almost be my specialist against lefties, because really all you have to worry about is you know, a couple of high opportunities for walk against them. But again, shows the kind of pitcher he is. He can light you up, or he can look just sloppy out there and be all over the place. So fix this back up real quick. And for Al Red Sox fan, we did promise a meet and greet with Daisy. So let me go grab her real quick because she's always the one that makes noise. Be back. Okay, so this is Daisy. She is a 9-year-old miniature pincer, and she will be 10 in July. And she likes to get involved. If you've seen some of the videos, when especially when the Cubs in my 1969 payoff pitch Cubs replay are going, she likes to chime in at opportune moments during rallies. And beyond that is a good girl, just a little bit too loud sometimes. So Al Red Sox fan, this is from Daisy to you. And again, don't forget the giveaway if you'd like to win the 1906 Cubs, 1919 White Sox, and 1922 St. Louis Browns, because I get too excited when I see pictures and don't read the print, which I should have known because I've read it 100 times before on that website. Again, just leave your name, and once I get the missing cards that Strat didn't send me from the Browns, we'll do a drawing, and I will get those off to you. So, and of course, Daisy was very shy here. She goes back in the sports room and starts barking again, but that's pretty much it. We'll get back to our St. Louis Browns replay and start putting together something with the 2017 teams once I get the Hall of Fame set. And until then, Daisy says goodbye and roll for the fences. See you later.